Lad and Bryce are out feeding cattle, so I'm gonna take a break in my make-ahead cooking and whip them up a portable drive-through breakfast. I'm gonna make them delicious breakfast sandwiches, biscuits, fried eggs, sausage, cheese. I'm starting on the biscuits right now. Now, the biscuits are actually cayenne cheddar, and they're delicious. I've just been grating up some cheddar cheese, and I think I've got just enough. So I'll scoot that over, and I'll start putting together the biscuit dough. It starts with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, about 1/3 cup of non-fat dry milk, a tablespoon of sugar, and then a heaping tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cream of tartar, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then a couple of teaspoons of salt. Now I'll just stir the dry ingredients together, add a stick of butter cut into pieces, and I also have 1/2 cup of shortening. Now I just want to work it together until the mixture looks like coarse crumbs. So this is a good time to add the cheddar. I've got a good cup's worth. I love cheesy biscuits. I'm just going to stir it into the butter and flour mixture. So for the wet ingredients, it's nothing more than good old buttermilk, my favorite wet ingredient to add to any biscuit dough. I'll just stir it around and slowly work it in. Okay, I'll give it a good stir and see how that looks. I definitely want all the crumbs to be absorbed, but I don't want the mixture to be overly wet like a batter. It definitely needs to be a stiff dough. Okay, it's all come together and the dough looks great. So I'll get it all off the spoon, and I'll grab a little flour and get it on the board. This is a pretty sticky, wet dough, so I'm gonna need all the help I can get. And it just goes right out. Now I'll grab a little extra flour and just sprinkle on top. Now rather than use a rolling pin, I'm just gonna use my hands and just flatten them. I like the tops to be lumpy and textured. That looks great. I'll just cut them out. Just 2 more biscuits to go in the pan. I smeared a little butter on the surface. I'm gonna brush a little bit of butter right on top of each biscuit. Now I've got the oven preheated to 450 degrees. That's pretty hot, so they only need to bake for about 10 to 12 minutes, just until they're nice and golden. Now while they bake, I'm gonna move forward on the fillings for the biscuits, starting with big old sausage patties. And now I just need to cook these on both sides until they're totally done. They're all done, so I'll take those out. Now, breakfast biscuits have to have eggs, of course. I love fried eggs, but Lad and Bryce are crazy about them. It's definitely their preference when it comes to eggs. I'm cool with that. I'll eat anything. Now, I'll just sprinkle the eggs with a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, I'll let the eggs start to cook, and I'm gonna grab those biscuits. I know they're done because the kitchen pretty much smells like heaven right now. Oh, yes. They look amazing. Nice and brown. Ooh, delicious. Now I'll check on the eggs. I don't want them to get too cooked. I'll try to flip them without breaking the yolks. 1 down. Here goes 2. And the 3rd one. Victory is mine. Now I'll get the assembly line going for the biscuits. I'm wrapping them in just individual foil sheets, so I'll get them open. Now, these biscuits are gonna be nice and piping hot. Ooh, emphasis on hot. The second one. Now, I'll just use a serrated knife to cut right through. Ooh, those are hot. Let's see how tough a country woman I am right now. Now, I'll open them up and get them ready for all those luscious fillings. I'm using a slice of white cheddar on each one. Because the biscuits are so hot, it's gonna help the cheese soften and melt. Then I will do the sausage patties. How good does this look so far? You could stop right there, but when have I ever stopped right there? I've gotta grab the eggs. Perfect, right on top of the sausage. This definitely would not be considered one of my low-cal recipes, but those guys are working hard out there. Couple dashes of hot sauce on top of each egg, just to give them a little different flavor, a little bit of spice. Oh, these look so good. I'll get the lids on. That top biscuit is gonna absorb some of that hot sauce. I'm gonna get these wrapped up so they stay warm, and then I'll run them out to the guys.